In the Supplier Options window, you can indicate how invoices from each supplier should be matched. You can associate a specific accounts payable reviewer to a supplier, and you can create supplier groups. The Create Supplier Options action is available in the search results pane at all times, regardless of whether a supplier search has been performed. To create supplier options, from the Tasks menu, select Foundation, Supplier Options. The Supplier Options window opens. From the search results pane of the Supplier Options window, select Create from the Action menu. The Create Supplier Options window is displayed. From the Create Supplier Options window, you can perform the following actions: Create Supplier Site, and Create Supplier Group. From the Create Supplier Options window, select Supplier in the Supplier Level field. In the Supplier field, select the supplier against which the new Supplier Options record is to be created. The supplier must be a valid supplier already set up in RMS. If this supplier will be matching invoices to other suppliers with a supplier group, then enter the supplier group ID. If the supplier is not part of a supplier group and they do not want to use the system default match strategy, then enter the match strategy. Enter the following values in the enabled fields as necessary. Invoices for supplier manually paid. Select the checkbox to indicate that invoices from this supplier should be paid manually. Always use invoice terms. Select the checkbox to indicate that the invoice term should always be used as the best terms. ROG date allowed. Select the checkbox to use the receipt of goods date to determine the due date of an invoice. Hold invoices until credit note is received. If checked, matched invoices will not post to the financial system until all credit note requests associated with the invoice are matched to credit notes. Match total quantity. Determines if matching of total quantity is required for invoices at the supplier level. Total header quantity required. Determines if total header quantity is required to be specified for invoices at the supplier level. Online parent matching. Online parent matching is a setting which allows users to detail match items at the parent or style level. Send debit memo. Select the frequency to indicate when to send a debit memo. Possible values are: always indicates debit memo will be sent, never indicates a credit note request will be sent, only when credit note is late indicates a credit note request will be sent, but later if the credit note does not come in on time. A debit memo is then generated. When this setting is either never or only when the credit note is late, an additional option called Hold Invoice is allowed. You can check or uncheck it. Close open receipt days. Enter the number of days that a receipt remains in the system without an invoice. After the number of days has passed, the receipt is written off to the accounting system. Discrepancy days before routing. Enter the number of days that quantity and cost discrepancies should be held before routing for resolution. AP Reviewer. This field specifies which employee will be the default reviewer for invoices for this supplier. Default Match Key. Indicates the default match key applicable for the supplier for the auto match process. Skew Compliance Percentage. Skew Compliance Percentage is a value which can optionally be used in summary, also known as invoice level matching, to check that the line items on the receipt and invoice are the same. Click Save to save your changes or Save and Close to save your changes and close the window.